Between the Temples is an enjoyable film. I actually watched this sooner than expected, as I love, love, love Carol Kane, and I'll actually talk more about her role in this in a moment, and why I think maybe there's an element of bias for me there. But this was only on Now TV in the UK. I was waiting to subscribe to the service again, and I did, to watch something else. So I got to watch this sooner than expected, and I'm pleased to say it was pretty enjoyable. This was released in 2024. It's directed by Nathan Silver. It's written by C. Mason Wells and Nathan Silver. And we have a cast including, of course, Carol Kane. We also have Jason Schwartzman. And this is about a man called Ben Gottlieb, and he is a cantor, and I learned what a cantor is. I will say, just so you know where my perspective is coming from, I'm not Jewish. I don't know a whole lot about the Jewish faith, but for some reason, I love films about Jewish families, Jewish individuals. I'm really, really keen to learn more about the religion, about the faith, and there are certain things in this that I did find to be really interesting, but also with that in mind, I can't vouch for the factual accuracy. I'm assuming it's all accurate and realistic and believable, but if you have any thoughts on that, please feel free to share. But I certainly found it to be really enjoyable. And Ben is going through a really difficult time, but he bumps into Carla, his childhood music teacher. And it turns out that Carla never had a bat mitzvah. And we get the explanation for this. So Ben agrees to help Carla achieve her dreams of this as an adult. And this gives Ben a new focus, I guess something to distract him from the problems he's going through, and it gives him somebody to connect with. And it's a really fascinating story, but I feel like, in my opinion, it's driven more by the characters, their personalities, but also their relationship, whatever that looks like. And I really thoroughly enjoyed getting to know the characters. But as I said earlier on, while I really loved this, I think there is an element of bias, because while I was watching it, I was thinking, yeah, this is great. I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a really great time watching it. And then there was this scene. I can't remember what the scene was. It was just a random scene that Carol Kane wasn't in. And I thought, I'm not really enjoying this bit of it as much. And then I thought about it, and I realised that when I was feeling the happiest, if you like, they were the scenes with Carol Kane. So I have a lot of praise for the film, and I did have a great time with it. But then I realised that that could largely be due to Carol Kane. So I try not to let bias play into my opinions, but when I do think that it is maybe shaping my overall view, I do want to make that clear that I did enjoy the film. But if we remove Carol Kane, which I really don't want to do, I might have enjoyed it a little bit less. But nevertheless, for whatever reason, I did think this was a great experience, and I still enjoyed the majority of the film. The characters are so well written, so believable, so likeable. Really loved getting to know them and following the film from their perspectives. We have some great camera work, great lighting, the technical aspects are all great. And as I said, for me, I learned a few things. I always find films that look at the Jewish faith to be really fascinating. And if you can recommend any, please feel free to do so. I'm always on the lookout for some. I had a lot of fun with this. Yes, I think I'm biased, and that does play a role. But trying to judge it as objectively as possible, I still think it's a really solid experience. And if it sounds like a film for you, then I'd say Between the Temples is most certainly worth watching.